State and federal authorities are working around the clock in Charleston, West Virginia, after a spill leaked chemicals into the Elk River.
Just minutes ago, President Obama approved a disaster declaration for West Virginia. 9 counties are dealing with a chemical spill. It contaminated the water supply. Up to 300,000 people are being told not to touch the tap water. At least 5 were treated at a hospital.
Bad news this morning for hundreds of thousands of people in West Virginia whose drinking water was contaminated by a chemical spill. We're now learning that the spill was worse than initially believed.
Many are starting to have serious questions about the health risk they may face from exposure to a chemical officials know so little about.
The chemical could be harmful if ingested in large amounts and could potentially cause eye and skin irritation.
Reports have said as much as 5,000 gallons has leaked into the water.
The toxic spill poisoning the water that serves 300,000 people.
It was so strong that we had to actually cover our faces up, and everyone, I had headaches, and I still do to this day have a headache.
You can't wash the dishes, you can't take a shower.
Now it's utter chaos.
Eyes burning.
It's a zoo in here, isn't it?
It's a zoo.
If I can't take a shower, it's going to be ugly.
Local tap water, not safe for drinking, cooking, bathing, or even washing dishes.
What the chemical spill taught us is that water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted.
I think I had a much more simplistic understanding of that, data had a particular value, and that was not that couldn't be questioned. And what I learned is no, it all can be questioned.
It takes about 80 pounds of water for every pound of coal to produce electricity. And so it's a major asset in our state. And a resource for a lot of different industrial sectors.
What we're doing is making something that could be an early warning system, right? So the EPA and local governments can't monitor every stretch of every body of water the whole time, right? But a whole bunch of citizens with pretty cheap sensors and Gatorade bottles could.
But what we saw from that chemical spill is that when we don't have water, it creates a serious situation, and not one that's just, environmentalists care about it. Everybody cares about it. Citizens care about it. Businesses care about it. It's wildly important to us.
Water is just so important and interesting, and it's time where here in West Virginia people are interested.
The second thing it taught us is that we have to be protective of that water. We have to be protective of that water because so much of our state, so much of our businesses, our economy depends on it.
When we were doing Streamlab and looking at the sensors and sort of educating ourselves within the class, our original impetus for that was the chemical spill in Charleston, but it was like opening up a Pandora's box of issues about water, not just in our state, but nationwide, and realizing the sort of precariousness of water quality and the security of water quality.
So this is the test run, trying out this little water sensor, put it inside a Gatorade bottle, and it's detecting through 2 screws in the cap of the Gatorade bottle the conductivity of the water. So conductivity of water will change depending on dissolved solids and salts in the water. So things that could be bad could be detected.
What's innovative is that as media experts begin to do science, begin to understand the science, and their ability to communicate that science increases, regardless of the value of the science. And so that is crazy valuable over time. And as a scientist, something I'm extremely excited about.
Part of what we're doing here, though, is just kind of figuring out the process. What does it take to do your own citizen science or sensor journalism for something like a body of water?
If you look at the power of what citizen journalism did to really give voice to groups that had not been able to speak for themselves. They had to rely on sort of official voices or mediated voices and brands and companies, you know, where it gives rise to things like Arab Spring or Black Lives Matter. You know, that's the power of technology and citizen journalism. I think we're going to see the same power of that technology in citizen science and with censor journalism, because it puts tools and technology in the hands of folks in a really empowering way.
This program in the College of Media, I think, begins to raise that awareness that we don't know as much about our waterways as we probably should.
We pull it out and see, A, did it stay dry? Did it work? And B, did it take readings? And can we see the temperature and conductivity change even over 24 hours?